You press the shutter because you're sure it's there, but later when you open the file at home, the feeling's gone. You go, where's that picture gone? I thought I got it. The photograph's technically fine, but isn't the moment you experienced, and you don't know why. If this keeps happening to you, then I'm going to show you why. You can keep on taking pictures, different locations, different subjects and different cameras, but you're still going to get the same result. You feel something powerful in the moment, but the photograph just doesn't hold it. So let me show you exactly what I mean. Here's the moment as it felt to me, alive, emotional and full of energy, and here's the file that it gave to me. Technically it's fine, but the feeling from the shoot is gone. There's no emotion in the shot, and editing won't save it. And this is the gap every photographer struggles with, the gap between what you felt and what the camera successfully recorded. And you keep thinking it's your timings, your settings, your camera, use a preset, whatever, but none of those things will actually fix the real problem, because your problem isn't your technique, it's your perception. There's something happening in that scene that you're not seeing, but your camera is brutally honest about it and will show you every time. And this is the part that nobody ever teaches you online, not on YouTube, not anywhere. Until you understand it and until you see it, you'll keep on losing photographs that you thought you had every shoot. There was one photograph that changed everything for me, and this is it. It wasn't a planned shoot, it was one in between where they said, let's try here. It wasn't on the shot list, and it definitely wasn't easy. I was standing at 12,500 feet in Hintertux, fighting the cold wind, the altitude. It was -8, the breathing, the weather turning on us, makeup was freezing, the model was shivering, the team was scrambling between rocks. Everything was working against the shot, and the pressure was on me. But in the middle of all that chaos, I saw it. Before I even raised the camera, I knew the photograph was going to work. I hadn't been missing the photographs because of my skill. I've been missing them because I didn't know what I was supposed to be looking for in the shot. Yeah, you can do your compositions and you can work with your model and everything, but the shot all has to calibrate. You have to look at your backgrounds. So for example, the dog, the model, the mountain, the atmosphere, the lighting, battling with all that. You've got to make it work and make it speak to you. And that moment became the beginning of something I now call the TRIOMÉ, my system for understanding how photographs actually work. And you saw part 1 last week. You don't need to worry about it and stop now because it follows on from this. The chapter stands on its own, but when you go back to it later, the whole system will click together. So in the previous TRIOMÉ video, you learned how the eye travels, the dot, the circle and the triangle. Those shapes explain everything about movement, but movement is only one half the story. Before your eye can travel into the scene, something has to pull it, and more often than not, it isn't colour, it's tone. Your mind sees tone more than colour, okay? Here's the part that nobody talks about on YouTube or online and in teaching you courses, not because it's complicated, but because most photographers never realise that it actually exists. Colour distracts you. You look at the red dress or the blue sky and the green field, but your camera isn't seeing those things the way you are. Your eyes are constantly correcting colour and brightness, and your camera doesn't. You have to control it. And here's the truth that nobody really teaches you. Your camera only sees in 18 tones, 18 fixed steps from black to white, white to black, and the tones between black and white. There are 18, including black and white, and that's the entire digital bandwidth. This isn't the Ansel Adams zone system, which was for film, chemistry and darkroom latitude. Digital is different, and digital is unforgiving. So CHIARO tone mapping is something I built myself, part of the TRIOMÉ system, because nobody ever taught you or me how to see tone properly, and unless you understand the zone system, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But most modern cameras give you somewhere between 12 and 14 stops of real dynamic range, and some give you more and some give you less. With good technique, good exposure and discipline, and modern editing tools, you can stretch those tones and compress them or expand them, but you can't escape the structure that's in that shot in the raw file. Something I realised I was doing. People used to say, when I'm squinting, why are you squinting, James? I said, have you got a headache? And I go, no, I haven't got a headache, I'm just looking at the scene. What do you mean you're looking at the scene? Here's the simplest way to prove it. Squint your eyes now and look at this scene. Just enough so the details disappear, and just enough that the colours blur into each other. And what you're left with is tone. Not objects and not colours and not details, just the relationship between light and dark. And if you set your camera settings on the back so your preview window is shooting black and white but you're shooting colour in raw, then you can preview your scenes in monochrome to help you understand better composition and better lighting. That's why a photograph can feel weak, because colour was doing all the work and the colour actually lies. Like I said in my old video, colour lies. If you can see your image in black and white as you're crafting it, you're going to get a better black and white picture, or an even better colour picture, because you know that tones don't merge together and become mush, that they stand alone. And when you see that they don't, you understand that colour is emotional, colour is persuasive, and colour lies. But watch what happens when I remove the colour completely. The photograph resolves, the structure's holding, and the tones stay exactly where I place them purposely. I place them in the shot. You know, if you're creating your own backgrounds, you can put your backgrounds that map and contrast with the skin. The colour version is rich, saturated and diverse, full of emotional cues that pulls the viewer in, pulls you in. It convinces you that the photograph is a strong piece of work, whether it's monochrome or colour. But strip away the colour and you can still finally see the truth. You can see the structure. You can actually see the separation in the shot, and you can see the weight of the tones holding the image together. It resolves perfectly in colour, and it resolves perfectly in monochrome, and that's a secret. Seen in monochrome will give you perfect colour images, because when the tone is right, the photograph will survive anything you do to it. I know this tonal system is a lot to take in, but once this clicks, you'll never look at the scene the same way again. Now let's look at how this applies to real photographs in a completely different environments with completely different lighting. What you're looking at here, this is stripped back colourless version of the scene. This is where CHIARO begins. TRIOME teaches you how the eye moves. CHIARO teaches how the image holds. Your camera doesn't photograph objects, it photographs tone. It records the relationship between light and dark and nothing else. So CHIARO asks, what is the brightest tone? What is the darkest tone? Where is the dominant tonal mass? Is there separation? Is there balance? Every photograph needs to have a tonal anchor and a place for the eye to land. Without an anchor, the eye drifts, and if the tones collapse, the photograph collapses. If the tones separate, your photography lives. If it doesn't, it dies. You start to see photographs before they actually exist, and that's exactly what happened on the mountain. Here's the mountain image, the one that changed everything. Look at it blurred. Look at it in monochrome, look at the tonal masses, look at the anchor, look at the separation between the figure and the landscape. This is what I saw in the moment, not the colour, not the details, and not the dress or the rocks of the sky. I saw tone, the shape and the weight of the image, and that's why it worked. Now look at the studio image, completely different environment and completely different lighting. Completely different subject matter. Is a burlesque model, Millicent Binks, who was a burlesque model at the time, who looked like Dita Von Teese, but the system's the same. Blur it, strip the colour, look at the separation between skin, hair and background, and look for the mid-tone mass holding the frame together. This is why the photograph resolves in colour, and also it works fantastic in monochrome, because the tone is the foundation and colour is the decoration. And finally, let's just look at this street image of Millicent walking around the streets in Piccadilly, London. Chaotic environment, busy background, moving people and mixed light, and everything working against you to try and get that shot of that person. But blur it and suddenly the chaos disappears. You're left with the anchor, the silhouette, the mid-tone mass. Three completely different images, three completely different environments, one system that works everywhere, and that's the TRIOME. It shows you how the eye moves, and CHIARO shows you how the image holds, and together they show you how to see. If this video is making sense to you, I'm James Nader, and I've been a fashion advertising photographer for 20 years. This video is just the foundation, and in the next few episodes I'm going to take you through some shoots that I've done and explain and show you exactly how to apply the TRIOME and CHIARO in every environment that you work in. Not theory, not guesswork, not trust your eye, actual, repeatable, predictable, visual intelligence. So if you want to learn how to see tone, how to control tone, and how to build photographs that hold together better and resolve better and get you more clients, stay with me, because this is where your photography will change. If you go into the links below, you can get some free stuff. There's one, the NVOS, which is free. Go and help yourself. And if you like this video, please subscribe. If you don't like it, then maybe forward it on to a friend who's doing photography or family member and photographer. Send them the link, and I'll be very grateful for that and look forward to seeing you on the next one. I'm James, over and out.